A mysterious box on our doorstep. A key that unlocked more than just secrets. One gift. One truth. And a night that reignited everything between us. What we found changed our family forever. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment. And one request, please always keep smile on your face. It was a grey Tuesday morning when the box appeared. No note. No name. Just a simple matte black box with a crimson ribbon sitting right at the doorstep of the Dawson house. I was the first to see it, me, Lana Dawson, barefoot and half asleep, opening the door to grab the morning paper. Instead, I found something that would unravel every thread of normalcy we had left in our lives. My husband, Mack Dawson, was in the kitchen nursing his black coffee, his back flexing under his grey t-shirt as he leaned over the kitchen island. He had no idea what I was holding when I brought it in. "What's that?" he asked, glancing up with those piercing green eyes that still made my stomach flip after all these years. "I don't know. It was just here." I set it on the marble counter. It had weight to it, more than it should have for a box that size. Our daughter, Summer, walked in, fresh from her morning jog. Her ponytail bounced as she peeked over my shoulder. "Looks expensive. Who's sending mysterious gifts now?" That's what we all wanted to know. Mack pulled the ribbon with one quick tug, revealing a sleek silver box beneath. Inside, nestled in black velvet, was a vintage-looking key and a note card with 6 words scrawled in ornate handwriting. "Everything you've lost is still yours." Chills pricked my arms. Mack didn't say a word, but I saw it, the way his jaw tightened, the way his fingers wrapped protectively around the key. Summer looked between us. "Is this some prank?" "No," I whispered, even though I wasn't sure. "It feels real." But real what? That was only the beginning. The key didn't fit any lock in our house. It was old, ornate, gilded, like something from a forgotten century. And yet, the note seemed to be speaking directly to us. It brought back memories we had tried to bury, especially Mack. He hadn't been the same since his brother Jake's disappearance 2 years ago. The key, it had to be connected. I saw it in his eyes. That night, Mack barely spoke. He kept turning the key over in his hand, sitting in the dim light of his study, the glow of whiskey in his glass untouched. Later, when I joined him, I placed my hand over his and said, "You think it's from Jake?" "I don't think," he said, his voice thick. "I know." Mack wasn't the kind of man who spoke of ghosts or fate. But this gift, it wasn't just a gift. It was a sign. A crack in our reality. A door ready to be opened. We didn't sleep much that night. Not just because of the mystery, but because of how close it made us feel again. There had been distance lately. Silence that lingered too long. That night, it broke. His hands found me in the dark, warm and slow. His breath on my skin whispered things his lips never said. The need between us ignited like fire starters in dry leaves. It was desperate, almost sacred. Like if we clung to each other hard enough, the world would stop spinning out of control. The next morning, the real unraveling began. A second box arrived. This time, it was smaller. Inside was a picture, faded and grainy. It was Jake, unmistakably Jake, standing in front of an unfamiliar wooden cabin, holding the same key in his hand. The date on the back said 2 weeks ago. "He's alive," Mack breathed, gripping the photo like it would dissolve in his fingers. "He's trying to reach us." A GPS coordinate was printed on the bottom corner. Deep in the Appalachian woods. Miles away from the nearest road. Mack wanted to go immediately. I didn't blame him. But I wouldn't let him go alone. Summer insisted on staying with her boyfriend, Derek, which gave us room to move fast. That road trip changed everything. It was just the 2 of us, no work calls, no distractions. Just the hum of the road and the storm of emotions beneath the surface. We talked like we hadn't in years. About Jake. About our marriage. About the things we didn't say during the hard times. At a small motel just outside of the forest entrance, we collapsed into each other again. The heat between us wasn't just about attraction. It was grief, hope, guilt, and love all tangled into one. I remembered the way his mouth moved against my neck, the way his voice dropped when he whispered my name, as though saying it made it real again. His touch was slower, deeper, like he was memorizing every inch of me in case this was the last time. And maybe, in some way, we both thought it could be. We hiked for hours the next day, following the coordinates until the trees thickened and the light changed. It was there, nestled between towering pines and moss-covered rocks, that we found the cabin from the photo. But Jake wasn't inside. Instead, there was a journal. The entries were detailed, raw, and full of confessions we never expected. Jake had staged his own disappearance. He was in love with someone he wasn't supposed to be. A man. A secret that weighed on him so heavily, he felt the only way to start over was to vanish. He hadn't meant to hurt anyone. He had planned to reach out, when the time was right. And now, with the gift and the picture, he was trying. But where was he now? The last page had a new set of coordinates, even deeper into the forest. Mack stood frozen, the journal trembling in his hand. He didn't speak, but I stepped closer and took his face in my hands. He's trying to come home, Mack. Just like you. His eyes burned with emotion I'd only seen once, on the day we lost Jake. But now, it was different. There was a spark. A possibility. We followed the second set of coordinates for 2 more days, camping under stars, washing in streams, moving closer to a truth we hadn't dared dream. And then we found him. At a lookout point, standing beside a small camper, Jake stood older, worn, but very much alive. He turned as we approached, and Mack dropped everything. They ran to each other like boys again. No words, just a raw embrace that spoke of years lost and forgiven. That moment was more than reunion. It was rebirth. Jake explained everything. The man he loved, the cabin, the fear. He had been watching us, too afraid to return until he knew the truth, until he knew he wouldn't be hated. But the gift, the key, it was his way of asking. Of testing the water. The next days were quiet. Healing. We brought Jake home slowly. Not just to our town, but to our hearts. Summer cried when she saw him. Mack's mother fell to her knees in gratitude. And something shifted in our family. Not just because we found Jake, but because in losing him, we had all broken in different ways. And now, piece by piece, we were being put back together. The gift had been mysterious. Unexplained. But maybe it didn't matter. Maybe the mystery wasn't in who sent it, but in what it stirred inside us. Love. Truth. And a second chance. And in those quiet moments, when Mack held me in bed with the window open and the moonlight touching his skin, I realized something deeper. He wasn't just my husband anymore. He was the man who had weathered a storm and still came home to me. One mysterious gift changed everything. And somehow it saved us all. Please press the bell icon for more interesting. Thanks for everything. Your love is my motivation.